Greetings. I want to show you one of my favorite places in the whole wide world, and it's this place right here, the main research library, which is the central library of the New York Public Library System, and it's on 40th Street, or actually it runs from 40th to 42nd on 5th Avenue in Manhattan, and currently it's called the Stephen A. Schwarzman Library, because some very wealthy benefactor literally donated $100 million to it, I don't know, maybe 15 or more years ago, but I love coming to this place. Before I became married, before I became a family man, I used to spend many hours here. One thing that comes to mind every time I visit this place is the chain of high-end steakhouses known as Smith & Wollensky. They have this slogan for their flagship store, their flagship steakhouse, and the slogan is, "If steak were a religion, this would be its cathedral," right? And it's a little cheesy, but that comes to mind because I think that's applicable to this place. You know, I think to myself, if being a bibliophile were a religion, then this would be one of its cathedrals, right? And it's a beautiful place. It's astonishing architecture. You see, I wanted to make a quick video which delved into a couple of sources which I don't have in hard copy, so I figured I was going to visit the library anyway, and then I had the thought, well, you know, rather than just show you the sources, why don't I show you the library as well? So I'm going to try to, you know, my intention here is just to do this in one shot, you know, and have as little post-production as possible, you know, so I guess the fewer mistakes, the fewer hiccups, the less post-production will be needed for this. But anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to visit two parts of this beautiful library. And look at that. You see how beautiful the ceiling is, these beautiful staircases. The architecture is just phenomenal. So even if you're not a bibliophile, if you're just into architecture or art, you could see the beauty in this place. Actually, I'm going to show you a couple of paintings that they have here. This is on the second, this is actually the third floor where the main reading room is. And so they have these different murals depicting, you know, the making of the book. And they have one for the writing of the gospel. And then on the other side, they have a depiction of Moses with one of the tablets. And it seems that entry is blocked off, at least for touristy kind of stuff. So, you know, but you can still go in for, you know, for research. I guess you have to, you know, make a case for that.
Request to go and sit down in one of the old classical sections that they have. In the reading room, they're off to the right. Oh, it's okay. All right, thank you. Both of you gentlemen have a great day.
And bear with me if this shot is a little awkward. You know, at this point I have my phone down by my hip, so it's not to seem like one of the many tourists who visit this. You know, it's supposed to be just a student researcher, and that's what I actually am, although I won't be here for long. But anyway, this is the main reading room that we're about to enter, and I've always found this place very beautiful. Here, let me show you around. I think I need to get a pencil just in case I need to point to some text.
Can I have one more pencil? Thank you so much. Thank you very much. Oh, no, this is perfect. Thank you.
By the way, for an example of how beautiful this place is, look at the ceiling, the artwork up there. Anyway, the reason why I'm here is because I want to look at a couple works which deal with the ancient concept of wine as truth serum, you know, as almost like an ancient sodium pentothal, if you will. And I'm going to begin with the Loeb Classical Library. You see all these green volumes are for the Greek text, and these red volumes are for the Latin text. And for those who don't know, the Loeb Classical Library gives you like the original text and an English translation. And I'm looking for a volume of Pliny's Natural History, specifically the fourth volume, because it provides an ancient example of the Roman concept of, you know, of wine as like I said, of wine as truth serum. So I'm looking for volume 4, and yeah, here it is right here. So let me grab this, and then we'll take it up to the table. And as I was saying, this is the Loeb Classical edition of Pliny's Natural History. It's specifically the fourth volume, with the translator being Harris Rackham. And I'm going to go to page 278 because it provides an example of the use of the phrase. Well, Pliny only alludes to it, but there'll be a footnote which talks about the famous Roman phrase, in Vino Veritas.
Dicen en latín, en Vino Veritas.
And here's the relevant section right here. This is what Pliny wrote in the 1st century. He said in Latin, volgoque veritas iam attributa vino est, which roughly translates to even the common folk attribute truth to wine, or truth is popularly attributed to wine. So this is this concept of, in wine there is truth, right? The wine, this ancient concept of wine as truth serum. And then at the bottom of the page, you can see the proverb which he was alluding to right here, in Vino Veritas, right? This ancient Roman proverb, which means in wine there is truth. And I'm going to close this up now because I want to go to another work which has this ancient concept, another ancient work. But for that, I'm going to have to go to another room because I'm going to be turning to the Talmud. So I'm going to go downstairs to the 1st floor, to the Dorot room, which is the Jewish reading room. And with that in mind, as I head there, I want to talk about the motivation or the inspiration for this video. You see, a certain popular Christian apologist who asks not to be named, was recently on Clubhouse, got involved in a little bit of a controversy. There was some discussion on the controversy over the popular American singer or music star or fashion designer or whatever, reality star Kanye West, about some remarks which he had made, which were considered, hostile towards a certain community. And hold on one second, let me just exit this room first.
Thank you very much.
So anyway, as I was saying, apparently in this Clubhouse discussion, the comments which were being made in response to Kanye West started to cross over apparently into the truly inappropriate. And so this particular Christian apologist spoke out. He spoke out against what one particular man was saying, and that man then began to berate the relevant Christian apologist. And afterwards, apparently some of the stuff that he said was quite nasty. And afterwards, the explanation given was that, well, you have to understand, he was inebriated, he was intoxicated, right? And so hearing about this little bit of drama, I thought of that phrase, in Vino Veritas, and then I also thought about the fact that there is a parallel to the ancient Roman proverb, in Vino Veritas. There's a rabbinic parallel, an ancient Jewish parallel, and it's found in the Talmud. It's not exactly the same statement, but it's basically the same concept, and that's why I'm heading over now to the Dorot room, to the Jewish reading room of this library, so I can take a look at a volume of Talmud. So we're about to enter the room now, so just bear with me for one moment. And so the Dorot Jewish room is going to be right here on the left. And when I go in there, I'm going to take a look at a text from Talmud Bavli, the Babylonian Talmud, specifically tractate Sanhedrin. And, No, I can do so now. Yeah, okay. Thank you. So right here on the left, there's going to be a shelf that has the Artscroll editions of the Babylonian Talmud of Talmud Bavli, and these are actually bilingual, or actually trilingual, as aside from the English translation. There's also, the Talmud itself is in Hebrew and Aramaic, although the text I'll be looking at is only Hebrew. So, like I said, I'm looking for tractate Sanhedrin, and specifically the first volume of the Artscroll edition, because it's going to be early on in Sanhedrin. I'm going to grab this volume right here, because we're going to go to page 38a, or daf 38a, as they say. And like I said, we're going to look for this ancient Jewish or ancient rabbinic parallel to the Roman concept of in Vino Veritas. And I propose that the Talmud is roughly contemporary with Pliny. Maybe there's a century or two between them, I don't know. But whatever the case, like I said, we're going to 38a, so bear with me one moment. And we're almost there. Yeah, okay, here we go. So like I said, this is tractate Sanhedrin and page 38a. And the relevant text can be seen right here. And if I can just focus in on the text right here, it declares, yayin ניתן בשבעים אותיות, וסוד ניתן בשבעים אותיות, which means, literally it would mean something like, the word yayin, the word wine, is given 70 letters, and the word sod, or secret, is given 70 letters. But what it actually means is that the word yayin has a numerical value of a gematria value of 70, and so too the word sod has the same numerical value of 70. And then the Talmud attempts to draw some sort of conclusion from it, and the conclusion is נכנס yayin יצא sod. Wine comes in and a secret comes out. So just like the Romans used to say, in Vino Veritas, in wine there is truth, so too some ancient Jews, at least the ancient Jews behind the Talmud, proposed something similar. They said that the numerical value of the words wine and secret, yayin and sod, that they were the same, because when wine goes in, a secret comes out. So either way, you have this ancient concept of truth coming out when people get drunk. And so that's all I wanted to share, just to show you that the ancient Roman proverb in Vino Veritas has a parallel in the Talmud. And that's it. I hope you found this interesting. As always, I look forward to the comments of others. God bless.